Ghana Police Force issued wanted bulletin for 3 individuals in connection with the WALLISON enterprise heist. Small Business Bureau awards grants to 14 small businesses in Region 2. OGLE resident recounts her terrifying experience of being robbed. In the region, migrants heading to the US recount traumatic stories of survival, and internationally, Thailand, COVID-19. Delta variant fuels surge in infections. Greetings and welcome to another edition of Channel 2 Headline News Update. I am Bibi Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. The Ghana Police Force has recently conducted investigations into the authenticity of medical documents produced by Cuban national Yuri Garcia and his Guyanese wife Atika Ishmael, purporting to show that they had contracted the COVID-19 virus. After they refused to appear in court to address additional accusations of conspiracy to do fraud brought against them, their attorney Dexter Todd submitted the paperwork on their behalf at the Sparindam Magistrates Court on July 27, 2021. The investigations has confirmed that the medical documents tendered were falsified. Further investigations are being conducted into the matter. Following her terrifying experience of being robbed, an OGLE resident is pleading with the relevant authorities to increase patrols in her community. Esther Sobers has more.
A young woman is left traumatized and fears for her safety after almost being stabbed by 2 bandits during an early morning attack and robbery. The young woman, who wishes not to reveal her identity, recounts that she was robbed last Friday whilst on her way to work. The bandits stole her bag containing cash, identification cards, and other important documents.
I didn't look back to see if they went their way. Then when they turned around, they came to rob unexpectedly. But everything happened so fast. I was a bit shocked because I didn't expect something like that would happen to me. I normally walk that road every morning to go to work, and he was like, give me it, don't move. And he jumped out the bike with a knife. He was ready to attack. And
How many of them?
2 of them. So now I didn't know what to do at that instant. I threw the phone in the trench, and when I did that, he took the knife and he was about to stab me. So I backed down and grabbed the bag from off of my hand and rolled off. And I didn't even get to see the number plate because they took it off, but they weren't wearing any masks. And the color of the bike I can remember is burgundy and light red.
The robbery occurred in OGLE at Shugnan Singh Road, where the victim is a resident. The woman further relays that persons living in the area are frequently robbed.
I'm still having anxieties from what occurred. It's not a nice feeling at all. I think the police need to patrol the road more in the mornings.
Is that place prone to robberies before?
Yes, it's prone to robberies because I've heard several stories about people getting robbed on that road, but I've never seen it happen, and I honestly didn't expect it would have happened to me.
So how do you feel walk traversing that said road?
I don't think I will rob that road again.
The victim is pleading for an increased police presence in the area because she is afraid of being robbed again. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. On Thursday, the Ghana Police Force issued wanted bulletins for 3 individuals in connection with the WALLISON enterprise heist last Thursday, August 5, 2021. The bulletin has been issued for the Quan King, called Titus or Queenie, of D. Field Sophia, Georgetown. King was the driver of the motor car used to transport the suspects to and from the robbery scene. Antonio Mirage, called Plucking or Tuggy, of Leopold Street, Georgetown. Agricola, East Bank, Demerara, and Buxton, East Coast, Demerara. He is wanted for the robbery under arms. Jamal Hazel of Guyhawk Park, Georgetown. Police said Mirage and Hazel are principal offenders in the robbery. They were observed in the CCTV footage robbing the victims. As investigators continued their pursuit of these 3 persons, 3 others were charged and remanded to prison on Tuesday for their involvement in the robbery. Don't go away after the break. Ghana Police Force investigating accident involving a minibus driver and a cop. And Small Business Bureau awards grants to 14 small businesses in Region 2.
Survival Shopping Complex brings to you its delivery service, Shop through WhatsApp. This process is simple. All you need to do is call or message your grocery list to 613-9683 and we will select your items for you and have them delivered directly to you, even out of town. This is convenient because we can stay on the phone with you as we select your favorite brands. We're happy to do your shopping for you. Contact us on WhatsApp today and shop price smart at Survival Shopping Complex.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Tastes so good. It's gotta be made with Alabama Baker wheat flour. Produced from quality soft winter wheat and quality enzymes to give a superior product that's guaranteed to be luscious, delightful to taste, and stays fresher longer. Alabama Baker wheat flour is perfect for breads, roti, puri, pastries, chow mein, pastas, and many other delights. Imported and distributed by Alabama Trading. 6566 Robb Street, Borda, and 23 Lombard Street. Telephone 225-5800.
Welcome to Kissoon's Furniture. Find everything you need for your home and more under one roof in our newly decorated showroom. Our locally crafted furniture has been perfected over the last 60 years. From our hands to your home, we also bring to you our newly introduced lines of imported furniture and sleep center, where you can find a wide range of beds and mattresses. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 60 years.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road, Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome back. Earlier this week, the Small Business Bureau handed over grants to 14 small business owners from Region 2. The grants were valued at $500,000 each. During a two-day visit to the area, Minister of Tourism, Industry and Commerce, Wanij Walrun, presented the incentives. While speaking at the handing over ceremony, Minister Walrun said her visit to the region is to take note of what services need to be offered or upgraded to make life better for the residents in that region.
Know that a lot of you have faced hardship, and just let your friends, your families, your neighbors know, everyone around your community know that there is assistance that government has provided in the Small Business Bureau. In fact, we have doubled the amount of the pocket of money that is available from 200 million when we increased it to from 100 million to 250 million, so we can service and support more businesses.
This now takes the total number of businesses to receive grants in the region closer to 50. Acting Chief Executive Officer of the Small Business Bureau, Vanessa Thompson, noted that the agency is working on making access to services better for persons in all the regions.
From the time we receive an application, Within 1 week, we want to be able to reach out to the client and say, we've received your application, this is what else is needed, or the application is complete. We'll get back to you by, a specific time frame. So we're working on improving those things, the processing time, working on making our grants and loans and all the services we provide more accessible.
The recipients of the grants expressed their appreciation for the timely intervention.
This is great for me and my business. I think it's something I've been waiting on a long while now, and presently we want to reach on the international market. A lot of persons come from the States, even Canada, various foreign countries, and they would buy our product, go back, and then they want more. They can't have it. So with this grant, I will be able to expand and get to reach all the customers, not only in Guyana.
I'm very privileged to receive it, very thankful to the government for receiving the grant, and it will help us a lot in our business in boosting, because due to COVID, everything's slow. The whole business in general is slow. So with this now, it'll help us to boost up our capital and to help the business to strive a little bit more.
I feel very happy about receiving this grant. I would like to say thank you to Small Business Bureau for giving me this financial support. Due to COVID, we had a lot of problems doing business. Our business almost crippled because of close of school and all functions stopped. So we are very happy to know that we could get some money to continue business, and hope that COVID will ease a lot, encourage everybody to take the vaccine, that we could be able to go back in the public.
Small business owners can now benefit from the grants of up to $500,000 and COVID relief grants of up to $250,000 once they can prove that they have suffered losses due to the pandemic. Police are investigating an accident involving a minibus driver and one of their own members. More from Esther Sobers.
Police are investigating an accident that occurred on the eastern carriageway of the Avenue of Republic on Thursday, on August 12, 2021, between a minibus BXX6919 and a Guyana Police Force motorcycle CL472. According to police report, the driver of the minibus, 31 years old Michael Abrams, of Lot 376 Plantation Paradise East, Coast Darara, alleges that he was the fifth vehicle behind a convoy proceeding south along the Avenue of the Republic. He stopped for the convoy to pass in the vicinity of China Trading. A motorcycle is owned by the Guyana Police Force, driven by 33-year-old Dexter McCoy of Guyana Police Force, collided with the right rear of the minibus. At the time, the motorcyclist was on security escort duty with the Ministries of Education cash grant. As a result of the collision, the motorcyclist received injuries. The motorcyclist went to Breakdown Medical Center in a conscious state, where he was treated and sent away. The Guyana Police Force has since launched an investigation into the incident. Breathalyzer tests were done on both drivers, which proved zero alcohol in their systems. Notices of intended prosecution were prepared and served on both drivers. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. Don't go away after the break. Migrants heading to the U.S. recount traumatic stories of survival, and U.S. and U.K. sends 3,600 troops to evacuate embassy staff from Kabul. But before that, here's the bridge retraction schedule.
Problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for do a surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome to Kissoon's Furniture. Find everything you need for your home and more under one roof in our newly decorated showroom. Our locally crafted furniture has been perfected over the last 60 years. From our hands to your home. We also bring to you our newly introduced lines of imported furniture and sleep center, where you can find a wide range of beds and mattresses. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 60 years.
For decades, milk has remained the same, until now. Introducing the Great Dairy Full Cream Milk from Alabama Trading. Enriched with vitamins A to D and calcium to promote healthy teeth, strong bones, and vitality. Great Dairy Milk is delicious and fortified to encourage healthy cell growth within the body. No wonder it's the #1 brand of milk produced in Ireland. Now available nationwide in 400-gram packages at leading supermarkets and wholesale vendors. Distributed by Alabama Trading.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Survival Shopping Complex brings to you its delivery service, Shop Through WhatsApp. This process is simple. All you need to do is call or message your grocery list to 613-9683 and we will select your items for you and have them delivered directly to you, even out of town. This is convenient because we can stay on the phone with you as we select your favorite brands. We're happy to do your shopping for you. Contact us on WhatsApp today and shop Price Smart at Survival Shopping Complex.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at news in the region and around the world. Many migrants along the Panama-Colombia border are hoping to reach the United States. They are crossing via a dangerous jungle known as Darien Gap. Al Jazeera's Teresa Bow reports.
A ride through the Turquoise River, deep in the jungle in Panama, shows how thousands are fleeing poverty in South America. Boats filled mostly with Haitians, Cubans, and Venezuelan migrants follow one after the other, heading to the United States. They arrive in Colombia and cross to Panama through the Darien Gap. They arrive thirsty, hungry, and walk with difficulty. Rafael Rovero from Venezuela traveled with his wife and 3 children. He's still recovering from the journey.
Whatever I can say is small compared to what we saw. In one there was a dead child, and in another tent too. People drowning in the river and left hanging on trees. I counted at least 8, but I'm sure there were more. This is the worst I've ever lived.
His wife, Flor Garcia, says she struggled climbing the mountains and the cliffs in the jungle.
It's horrible because I felt I couldn't anymore. Before I arrived here, I felt weak. We hadn't eaten in days. My feet were injured and I was thinking of my children. I thought my baby was not going to make it.
Flor says they were assaulted. A woman from her group was raped and she had to cover herself in mud to protect herself. NGOs say rape has become the norm.
Most of the people we have spoken to that arrive to this camp are desperate. Most of them have lost all their belongings. They have no clothes for their children. This group is from Venezuela. They say the only thing left are their expired passports.
They all arrive at the indigenous village of Bajo Chiquito, where there is not enough food and water to help them recover from the trip. Vidoise has just arrived. She's from Haiti. Her 4-month-old baby is dehydrated and has a fever.
I left Chile because we don't have papers. The government doesn't want to give us papers, so we are going to Mexico.
Around 16% of those here are children. They survived the journey, but UNICEF says most of them are traumatized.
Children are very young and they come with serious health issues, like everybody else because of the trip. You see diarrhea, vomits, but also they're affected psychologically because they go through traumatic experiences. In some cases, they get lost from their parents, so it's very difficult.
Countries in the region are struggling to cope with the thousands of migrants heading towards North America. They're trying to implement quotas, but this is unlikely to work for now. In spite of the risks, migrants continue to arrive. This is only a part of the journey, but most of them say it has left wounds that will mark them for life. Teresa Bo, Al Jazeera, Darien, Panama.
Internationally, American and British troops are on their way to Kabul to help embassy staff and local entrepreneurs leave the country. Washington insists it is not a full evacuation and its embassy will remain open. Al Jazeera's Mike Hanna reports.
It was just a month ago that the top US general in Afghanistan returned to the United States, his mission apparently over. Since then, the Taliban has made huge gains throughout Afghanistan, and now the US is redeploying troops to assist in the evacuation of American nationals and Afghans who worked with the US.
This is a temporary mission with a narrow focus. As with all deployments of our troops into harm's way, our commanders have the inherent right of self-defense, and any attack on them can and will be met with a forceful and an appropriate response.
3,000 troops will arrive at Kabul airport in the next 24 to 48 hours. A support team of another 1,000 is being sent to Qatar to process the single immigrant visas that are being given to Afghan personnel. Yet another brigade is being deployed to Kuwait to operate as a quick reaction force should the US embassy in Kabul come under threat. But the State Department dismisses reports that the embassy may close.
My response to that is that's not true. This is not a full evacuation.
The UN Secretary General in New York has expressed great concern about the situation, but still holds out hope for a diplomatic resolution.
We are continuing to engage with the Taliban in Doha. I mean, we are continuing to believe that there is a political solution that can be had. This doesn't mean that we are also blind to what is going on on the ground. We are not blind to the suffering of the civilians who are caught in crossfire in urban environments.
And the US president insists it's Afghans who must deal with the situation, saying he does not regret his decision to withdraw US forces.
Afghan leaders have to come together. We lost thousands, lost death and injury, thousands of American personnel. They've got to fight for themselves, fight for their nation.
But ironically, with the latest deployments, the American presence will be back to the same level as it was for the past 2 years of the US's longest running war. Mike Hanna, Al Jazeera, Washington.
And finally, Thailand is struggling to control its strongest wave yet of COVID-19. While the country's vaccine program continues to accelerate, it is probably not going to be enough to reduce the rise in cases in the short term. Al Jazeera's Scott Halier has more.
This is Thailand's worst week in its COVID-19 battle. There were 2 record-breaking days of new infections and 1 with a high of 233 deaths. Until the start of the current 3rd wave of the virus in April, Thailand had only about 30,000 COVID-19 cases in all. Since then, it's added more than 830,000. A delayed vaccine rollout has been the focus of much criticism directed at the government and the mixed messaging about preventative measures as the 3rd wave was just taking hold. The rapid spike in cases has led to heavy strain on the healthcare system, which is considered one of the best in the region. Volunteers have jumped in to fill the gaps.
To me, the existence of volunteer groups shows how the government has failed. So people have to help each other.
The Health Ministry has proposed an immunity decree that would prevent any legal action against frontline medical staff while working on COVID-19 patients. It says it's designed to help them do their jobs. But it would also protect those responsible for vaccine procurement, an area that has come under critical scrutiny from the opposition and pro-democracy protesters.
This can set a precedent if the government wants to be protected from their own actions. We have seen more people suing the government, targeting policymakers. I don't think people will go after frontline medical staff. I think the top officer will feel at ease if they have some kind of immunity.
Well, medical experts say a better supply and variety of vaccines are critical for the overall battle against COVID-19. More at-home testing should be the top priority.
While the recent wave started in Bangkok and other large cities, it has now spread to rural Thailand. And that's an added complication because there's limited access in these areas to healthcare and vaccines. But experts say more testing would help.
I think that the test is the key to help control the infections. Ideally, it should be free for all people, because if you have this test in your hands at home, you can monitor yourself. If you get infected, you can have self-home isolation.
Dr. Pucharan says it would also free up bed space and medical staff for those who need advanced care. And it would help protect some of the more vulnerable groups, the elderly and children, as the rates of COVID-19 spreading inside households increases. Scott Heidler, Al Jazeera, Bangkok.
And that is it for today's regional and international news. Here now is your 3-day weather forecast. That is it for this edition of Channel 2 Headline News Update. Tune in on Monday at 7 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Until then, stay safe and take care.